Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Today's hair tutorial is actually a challenge that one of you sent me almost a year ago, and that is no heat styling whatsoever. Not only are we talking about no blow dryer, but also no flat iron. The challenge was presented to me as if you had gone on vacation and forgot your blow dryer and flat iron. And I know most of us are accustomed to staying in a hotel or an Airbnb that has a hair dryer that we can use. But let's say for today, that is not an option. What would we do? So I'm gonna give you two different options. Now this would also be great if you're going camping this summer, you're not gonna have access to an outlet to plug in your hair dryer, or maybe it's just really hot and you would like to give yourself a break from that heat styling. So if you are new here, hit that subscribe button and now let's get started. So in this scenario, I feel like you would know this pretty much right when you step out of the shower. So that would begin my plan for how to style my hair that day. The first styling I will do actually with my hair wet, and then the next styling I'm going to do kind of get you set up for an air dry, and we'll let our hair air dry for about 30 minutes, and then I'll show you how I would style it from there. So this first style, we're gonna style it wet, and we're gonna put a few products in our hair. And I'm gonna start off with a little bit of Catwalk Root Boost, and I'm actually going to put a little bit here in the front. I'm gonna actually shoot it down because we're gonna style this kind of up and off the forehead. And then here at the crown, I'm actually not gonna do too much. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit, and I do aim it at the roots, but it's okay with this product if you get a little bit of it kind of down the shaft of the hair, that's okay. And then I'll put a little bit here as well. Okay, and then as I work this hair back, we're going to do an off the forehead hairdo. And for this one, you will actually need some kind of bobby pin or maybe a little hair clip. You may not always travel with those. I know I always travel with at least this clip because it's what I use to put my hair back when I'm washing my face. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to kind of take a little bit of a part here, and I'm going to just kind of smooth this back section down a little bit. All right, and then this front section. Now I have a cowlick here in the front, and this makes this piece want to just flop over. So even when I put it back, it kind of does this funny little loop thing. So to help correct that, that's going to determine kind of how I twist my hair back, so to speak. All right, so I have this front section here, and I'm going to take about 3 sections, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this back, and this middle section I'll twist kind of the opposite way that it wants to go. All right, and then I'm also going to put it over the top of that left piece, my left, your right. And then that right piece, I'm actually just going to kind of maybe one twist, not much, just enough to kind of hold the hair together. And so what you can see is I've got that top piece is over this left, the left piece went under, and then I have this right piece tucked over. So now, depending on how much, I had this wild hair that was hanging down. Okay, we tucked that in. Okay, so from here, I'm going to just pull this out slightly because I would like a little more of a lift here in the front. And then I have a couple of fun little clips. These are from Target. I'm just gonna go in with one of these little clips here. We'll just kind of put that maybe front and center just as a little fun. We can put in another little guy right here. All right, And then the rest of the hair, we're going to just kind of work. You're gonna have to go with kind of what your cowlicks and stuff like that do. So you can see I've got a little curl here, which is going to develop as my hair dries, and that's okay. In the back here though, what I will do, and this will help going into our next hairstyle as well, I'm going to use the Bedhead Matte Manipulator. This you can apply to wet or dry hair. And so I'm just gonna take a little bit, not much, that looks like a lot, but it's a real thin product. And I'm going to use this just to add a little bit of texture in the hair so that as it dries, it's gonna have just a little bit of body and a little bit of hold power. What I would recommend doing is just taking a little bit more of that Bedhead Manipulator or whatever styling product you have, and just kind of almost twisting the tops down, any part that is kind of sticking up or doing something that you don't really like. Just put a little bit of that. You could even use maybe a little bit of gel and twist it through the hair. And then hopefully as it dries, the hair is going to at least be kind of laying down in that top section. And then of course you could go back and fluff it up. All right, so here's where we're at. The hair is still quite damp, but I feel like the way that we did the front here, I'll give you a close-up of that, it just makes it look like you intended to style it this way. And because we have that little bit of kind of wax in there, as the hair dries, it should kind of keep its overall shape. Once it's fully dry, you could go back and add in a little hairspray if you wanted to later in the day. But this is perfect if you're gonna go out kayaking on the lake or go hiking or camping or just hanging out for the day at home. I think this is a great option. So let's go on now to option number 2. All right, for option number 2, I'm going to kind of dampen my hair just a little bit so that I can retrain it. You know, when you put clips in your hair, it can kind of put a little wrinkle in there or make it do funny things as it dries. So I just wet my hands a little bit, and now I am working my fingers through just to kind of roughly comb out the hair and to kind of direct it in the direction I want to go. Okay, so I know some of you are like, hey, just leave it right there. Well, the problem is my hair doesn't just dry like this, and I would have to like not move. So I want to give you a few tips if you have kind of some wild and crazy hair like I do, that as it air dries, so what happens to my hair is it will start kind of flipping up here, like right here, you can tell that's kind of dry. It will start just flipping up. You can see this is curling. The back, surprisingly, the way it's laying right now is actually laying quite well. But what I would do is I'm going to add a little bit of the Kenra Nitro Memory Cream. I already have that Catwalk Root Boost in the hair. I don't need to add any more. So I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of this, and I'm going to work this through mainly the kind of ends of the hair. And this, several of you have told me you have tried this and you are loving it. It really does have this strange way of providing hold without your hair feeling like it has any hairspray or anything in it. It's kind of crazy. But I'm going to do this, and for this particular scenario, I am not going to kind of correct my part. I'm kind of letting it go as it goes naturally. And the reason for that is if I try to do a deeper part like I would normally do right now, it will kind of rebel, and then I'll start having all these hairs sticking up. What I would rather do is get my product in there and make sure that this back part I already put the root boost in there, so it's going to have a little bit of grit in there, but as it dries, I would rather have it dry a little bit going in kind of a flatter direction, because we can always go in once it's dry and fluff it up. So I'm going to just kind of check out the hair all the way around. All right, now this right here, this would drive me crazy later on through the day. So what I'm gonna do is, as this dries, I'm gonna put in a little bobby pin here. You could use a little bit of a clip, and I'm just going to see if I can kind of get that to dry. I'll show you. I'm gonna see if I can get that to dry back and a little bit straighter. And then once it's dry, I can bring it forward, and hopefully we're not gonna have that really big arch right there. Now in this scenario, I would have discovered that I forgot my blow dryer or flat iron pretty much right out of the shower if I didn't already know the night before. So we're gonna pretend we are at that point where I've just gotten out of the shower and I've realized I forgot my blow dryer. So what I would do is then go put on my makeup and let my hair air dry as much as possible, and then come back and finish it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give my hair about 20 to 30 minutes, and I'll come back and we will finish styling it. Okay, I'm back. It's been 30 minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and take out my bobby pin. And a couple times throughout those 30 minutes, I took my fingers through here. This section right here is still damp right now, but we're gonna go ahead and style it anyway, because I'm gonna pretend like we don't have time for it to finish drying. If you can finish drying it, or maybe your hotel has a heater or a vent that you can stand by and help it air dry quicker, you could certainly do that. But mine is mostly dry, and so let me give you an up close. So like I said, I just have these wild and crazy hairs. They do a little funny things here and there, so we're gonna fix that. This is still kind of a little wacky right now, so we'll see if we can correct that. The back, I did continue to just kind of comb down. This is still a little bit damp as well, but we're gonna go ahead and style now. So you could use the bedhead matte manipulator. Now this, in my opinion, is not quite as much hold as you're gonna get from the Enjoy Dry Wax. And because my hair is mostly dry, this will still work. I don't really love this on wet hair. That's why in the previous tutorial I used the bedhead one on the wet hair, but this one I certainly do love and prefer on dry hair. All right, so I'm going to work just a little bit, actually let me add a little more, through the palms of my hands. All right, and now we're going to just go to town. So I'm gonna start first by working the hair in the opposite direction. Same with this side. And then I'm going to put a little more wax at the back here. And if you're not familiar, if you've not seen any of my tutorials with this wax, you have no idea why I love it. It is because it remains pliable until you're really ready to set it in place, and you don't even have to set it with hairspray. I do like to set it though, but it allows you to really kind of add texture and do what you want with the hair first without having to add more and more product. So we're gonna just kind of have a little fun here and see what we can do, because that's kind of what I do. If I've got like those crazy hairs, you know, that are sticking up, I figure, hey, let's just make it look like that's intentional and part of our style today. And this front section, I feel like if I bring it forward like this, it's helping that kind of lay a little bit flatter without having to use the flat iron. And I'll add a little extra wax here through the front. All right, I think that's pretty good. Let's set it in place with some hairspray. Today, I'm going to use a new one that I'm testing out, and this is the Bedhead Masterpiece. Give this a try today. It has a much finer spray on it, but we'll see if we can get it to lock everything in place. Check out the back. It's actually laying very well, and that is, I know, testament to my stylist and her skills. Okay, I can already tell this does not have quite the same hold power and instant freeze power that I am accustomed to with my Aussie Instant Freeze hairspray. So I'm actually going to use a little bit of that, but first let me go in with a little more Enjoy Dry Wax right here. Let's just do something a little fun here. I'm just gonna kind of pull those sides down, and then this front section, I have what's left on my fingers of that Enjoy Dry Wax, and I just used the finger to kind of add a little extra body there. Okay, and then let me show you why I love this hairspray. See, that is going to hold everything, I feel like, just a little better. Love how earrings just make it look finished. So here we are. Here is our finished look. So I have to be honest, I was not sure that I was going to get to this place where I would be happy not having to use my flat iron, because you know, I just love that tool. But I really feel like the way this turned out, I love it. And I think one of the secrets today was using the Kenra Nitro Memory Cream. This is kind of a newer product I've been using for the last month or so, and I think there's a lot of benefits I am seeing from it, but I feel like that helped give my hair some hold and direction as it dried, to help minimize a lot of those wild and crazy cowlicks that I typically have in my hair. I also felt like it kept kind of the frizz factor down a little bit on the ends of my hair. But overall, I'm pretty happy and pleased with this no heat style here. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. And for those of you who were looking for some no heat styling tips, especially for the summer months, I hope that this was helpful to you. Thank you as always so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.